Hi everybody, welcome back to my LinkedIn Lives. I'm Jasmine Navarro, Certified Wellbeing Expert, working with educational institutions and companies, helping them support their family wellbeing challenges. As you know, every week I interview different experts, and today I'm super excited to be interviewing James. Hi James.
How are you?
Fine, thanks. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for
Can you,
having me.
that's okay, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yeah, my name is James Lumumba, as you can see. I recently qualified as a life coach, and that is the field that I'm trying to get into. So, life coach and podcast host also.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Okay. Amazing, amazing. And you chose a really interesting topic for today. And I think, well, especially when we get into the coaching or therapy world, it's all about self-discovery, isn't it? So you chose
Yeah.
journey into self-discovery. Can you tell me what that means and why you chose it for today?
And yeah, reason why I chose it because it's something that I like. It's a big one, obviously, but
Yeah.
it's the element of like, am I living the life that I want, or am I living the life that's expected from me?
Oh, wow.
And if I'm living the life that I want, that's the journey back to the self. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So it's not easy. It requires asking yourself a lot of questions, doing a lot of work on yourself, and but it's amazing.
Yeah. Okay. No, brilliant, brilliant. So tell us a little bit about your journey then of discovery.
Okay, so for me, my own journey, yeah, it's just been around asking myself questions like, "Who am I?"
Oh,
It's a big,
really?
it's a big question. Yeah, yeah. And so we all have an idea of who we are based on, so who am I is based on how I learned about myself and what people tell me about me,
Yeah.
and all the things that I heard about myself growing up and what people tell me about me becomes my identity.
Yes.
And often when someone say, "Who are you?" we tend to describe things that we do
Yes.
and things that
Yeah.
we have.
Yeah.
But when you
Definitely.
start when you start to look at who you are, I'm not saying things that you have are bad, but is it really the person you are, or are you just being identified by the story that you have and what people told you about you and what's expected from you becomes your life?
Wow. Oh, I love
So
that. That's so profound. Yeah, sorry, carry on.
yeah, so for me, there's loads of beliefs that I had about myself, and so it's a matter of learning. Like, why do I like people would say he's very shy, and that's my belief. That became my belief, and it's
Oh,
the story
yes.
that I have about myself. So
Yes.
it's like, okay, why am I shy? Like, what's making me shy? Because
Yeah.
I was never always like that. So what happened to me that started to make me believe that I'm shy?
Amazing.
And how do I begin to kind of undo that belief? Writing your
Oh,
story.
wow.
Yeah.
It's so true because actually, yeah, that's so true, isn't it? If you get labeled as shy, you could spend your whole life acting out that label and it's not even true. And you're not shy because shy is just a behavior, isn't it? You can change
Mm,
it.
And they all just learned behavior. And
Yeah.
like people can be identified, oh, he's just an angry person.
Yes.
Maybe something happened that made him angry, but now because it's tied to his story, that's who he says he is. But it is the behavior that he's on, but he's not really aware of. Well, he's aware of it, but he doesn't know that it's a behavior. He thinks that's who he is.
Absolutely. And they
Same
can't
with me,
change
like,
it.
yeah, same with me, like, I'm just very shy. And I held on to that story and it became my story.
Wow.
And
When did
so
you
that,
change that then? When did you realize? And when did you start? Like, what was the moment when you thought, when you started asking these questions?
and about 4 or 5 years ago, I like to study why people do what they do, like
Ah, okay.
what drives human behavior. Like, why am I this way?
Yeah,
And your
that's
head goes,
cool.
because of this.
Yeah,
But yeah, for me, it was around learning about like things that I say about myself. Like, are those really true? Because we all have a voice in the head that tells us things, especially when we get very quiet. And and we listen to them. So it's a matter of like, where's those voices coming from? Because they're not my voice.
Wow.
There's this voice that I've internalized. Now they sound like me, but they're not really who I am. There's
Wow.
internalized voices that I've heard growing up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And because they're in my head, I'm convinced that's the story and that's my story. So it's like, how do I
Wow.
change my story? So for me, it's around asking myself those hard questions, like, where is this coming from? Why am I in this behavior? It's same way, like 2 years ago when I started doing my podcast, I would have been the type that would say, no, I'm not doing live recording like that. It's not who I am. I don't do that. Literally. That's what I
Yeah.
said. When someone said you should do a podcast, I was like, no chance. I'm not doing that. But I wanted to do it.
Yes. Something in, so the real you wanted to do it.
Yeah, it's like that part of me is like, come on, this would be fun. And then the story and the person that I identify was like, no, we're not doing that. We don't do that. It's you're gonna make a mess of it. All those voices in my head start telling me the story, reasons why I can't do it. But because I knew it was something that I wanted to do, I just started doing it. And I get very nervous doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the moment I hit record, my body just starts like, it's interesting. Just huge emotion just takes over my body the moment I hit record, and I just have to calm myself back down because I'm going against who the person that I thought I was.
Yes. I know that feeling. Yeah. And how did you manage it then? Because it's very easy to stop and be like, oh, no. And then you feel relieved.
And I just kept going.
Yes,
And I knew when it was coming on, like I would have someone on and we're having a conversation, and the moment I hit record, the emotions start coming up in my body and I make a mess for the first couple of seconds. Then after that, I'm okay. But I just learned to sit with those feelings.
Yeah.
Instead of just like pressing stop and be like, no, I'm not doing this. It's too hard.
So how do people know then? Okay, no, it sounds, I mean, I love everything you're saying. So how can this help other people then? So people who are watching now and maybe, I don't know, maybe they're feeling stuck or unhappy. Like, what was your signal that, okay, it's time to ask some uncomfortable questions? Like, where do people start with this?
So for me, it was a case of I used to do a lot of volunteering for small charities and or around these big events.
Okay.
And it was a case of just after the event, just the feeling of like nothing. It's like I should be excited, but I'm just like that's it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So instead of continuing feeling good, I just felt like numb. It's just like, okay, that's done. So then I was curious, like, why is that happening? Why can't I be in this moment of happiness? And that's how it started for me. But it's about asking, like, we all identify with our roles, and like that being a father or a mother, that's the role that we have. But behind that role is also a person, and like you can still be a mother and tap into who you really are, who you enjoy to, like the person you want to be. But we just identify with the role that we play, and it becomes the person that we are. And
and I guess what you're saying is, what sounds like what you're saying is, if you're not living a life true to who you really are, then you're probably not going to be happy. You're probably not going to be happy because you're sort of lying to yourself. If you're just living everybody else's expectations and voices and ideals, you're not ever going to be happy, are you? Something's always going to feel wrong.
Yeah, we're always chasing in a way, like we think like, oh, this thing or this person is going to make me happy. Or this thing or this person is where my pain's coming from.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that's true.
Instead of looking within, like, why can't I be happy? Like, why do I feel this way? And because often it happens to people, like in relationships, and what we do is we minimize what they're doing, or we're just in denial about what they're doing. Because it's easier to stay in the story of this is who I am now than to challenge that question.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think, like you said before, when you challenge, it is about feeling these uncomfortable
Yeah.
emotions, because they're going to come up. They're blooming going to come up.
They're going to come up. They do. And that's why I think most of us don't like silence. It's like we're afraid of it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's like, oh, I can't do that. Because often what happens is the voice in your head start playing up. Straight away, like, oh, I need something to distract me.
Absolutely.
Because I don't want to listen to that.
Yeah. I don't want to feel these feelings. Don't want to listen to that.
So we all just keep going and going and going without time to pause and just question, like, is this really like what I want to be doing? You know?
Do you think that's what we're afraid of the most, feeling?
Oh yeah, we're afraid of it because, like, who wants to sit down and feel their feelings?
Yeah. That's, I know. Yeah.
It's not that we're afraid of it by choice. I think we learned, like growing up, we learned how not to feel. You know, for example, if you come from a home where, say, for example, like your father was inconsistent, always letting you down, and as a child, obviously you want to believe your father's good, but you always felt like let down. So what you do is you just stop feeling that feeling, because it's easier not to feel the pain of being let down constantly.
Oh my God, yeah.
So you just hold on to the story like I have a good father, which you may do, but below it is a feeling of being unwanted, being unloved, not being seen. And then when we grow up, we always look for behaviors or things to do not to feel those feelings again, because when I get quiet, those voices might start coming up. That feeling of not being seen or being heard start coming up. So it's easier for me to just keep busy, or to find something that I can like stay in my job working all the time, because I don't want to have to deal with how I feel. So it's easier.
Yeah. Oh my God, that resonates so much. And not just how you're feeling now then, but yeah, like you said, feelings that you just haven't felt from 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah, that you numbed out. And especially, like, say for boys, for example, like we're not allowed to feel our sadness. Well, we're allowed, but we're just taught not to feel it.
Yes.
So for many of us, everything is just directed through anger. Like if I feel sad or if I feel grief, I just become angry, because as a man, I'm not allowed to feel those feelings, because it makes me a certain way. So everything just comes out as anger. And it's the opposite for female. They can't express the anger because they were told they're not loud. Everything is sadness. You know, it's easier for her to cry than to express her anger that she feels about something.
Yeah. I guess it depends.
Mm.
Because for me, anger, that was quite a common emotion in our thing. So that, I guess it's what your parents are doing.
Yeah.
I guess that's what's easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, generally, I think definitely.
Yeah, it's like what you weren't allowed to feel, but now as an adult, I definitely don't want to feel it.
Say that again.
As an adult now, I don't want to have to feel my sadness, so it's easier for me to just get angry, because it's just not. First of all, probably I can't feel it because I never really felt it.
Yeah.
So instead of something happening, me being like, I'm feeling sad about that, I'm just like, I don't feel anything.
Oh yeah, and we've got to have these feelings, because if we don't feel these feelings, what I realized, because I had feelings that I didn't feel for 20 years, like grief. They block things in our present, don't they? They just block things.
Yeah, they come out, and they come out in our behavior. They come out in our bodies.
Yeah. Yes.
You know, and how we behave a certain way. And when someone say like, "What do you do?" They're like, "I don't know." You just, and people identify you as being a certain way, but part of that is hiding away from, running away from like things that I should have felt that I'm not allowed to feel.
Definitely.
You know,
I've got a question. No, you're right.
Sorry.
No, I've got a question on Instagram from Hazel. Hi, Hazel. How are you doing? She says, it's for you, James. Can you recall a moment when you truly surprised yourself, when you realized you were more capable than you thought?
Can I recall a moment? And what I started doing the last couple of years, like I joined public speaking. And for me, that's like a big fear.
Yeah, that's huge.
Stand up and speak in front of people? No. And
Yes.
but I kept going. I kept turning up, and
Oh, I love
after
that. I love that.
every speech, like you're giving the feedback on how you got on.
Oh, you mean the Toastmaster thing?
Yeah, like everyone will give you like a little note to say like what you did well and what you can improve on.
Oh, wow.
And I think through that, one day I just realized it's not really that bad. Like I think I'm okay. You know that way.
Wow.
Well, before like even the thought of it would be like, oh, I'm not doing that. But it's one of those things I wanted to do it, but my story is I don't do that, or I'm not standing up in front of people. You know,
Wow.
that's like the second biggest fear human have, speaking in front
Yeah,
of
oh, yeah.
people. Like, yeah, you know, I was one of them, but I knew that I wanted to do it, so I just
Wow.
kept going. I just kept turning up, and one day I was like, you know, I think I can actually do this.
Do you think we're always ready at a certain time then? Because it was like maybe you were always supposed to do it, but you just had to wait for your time.
Yeah, I think what happens is we think of a big idea, and we're like, I want to be this. Like, say for me, like I want to be in stage and speak, right? So because the idea is too big, my brain goes, no, we don't do that, so we're not going to start doing that, right? Instead of just like, okay, that's what I want to do. What can I do now?
Oh,
So,
yeah.
so it's almost like breaking it down to small chunks. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm going to find a club, then I'm going to log on online, but not have my camera on, and eventually I'll start having my camera on. Then I'll start going in person. Then I'll
Wow.
just watch because I'm afraid, and then eventually I'll get up and speak for a minute. So it's
Wow.
just doing those little things
Yeah.
that one day you'd be like, oh my God, I'm doing this.
That's so powerful.
Yeah.
It's all about
If I'm focused on the big picture, your head is like, no, we don't do that, or that's too much, or you're gonna make a mess of it. So straight away, like, no, that's not for me.
oh,
Instead of
wow.
just like, yeah,
Oh, I
it's
love
like,
that. That's for everything, actually, isn't it? Otherwise, you
mm,
just feel overwhelmed,
yeah,
overwhelmed with fear.
yeah,
Another
because it
question.
overwhelms. Sorry.
Carry on. No, carry on. Carry on.
Yeah, because it overwhelms your system, especially if you're doing something that you're afraid of. And straight away, you're gonna just be like, no, instead of like breaking
Yeah,
it
because
down
you're
to
looking
small
for
chunks.
things for a no anyway, aren't you? You're
Yeah,
actually more of you are looking for that reason not to do it because you're
yeah,
scared. Any
yeah.
tiny thing,
Mm. It's
you're
like,
lapsed. But
yeah, it's like, oh, we meet at 7 o'clock, and at 6 o'clock, we're like, oh, it's raining. I don't feel well. I
yeah,
have to
yeah,
make
yeah,
dinner. I have some schoolwork to do for the kids. Oh, I just want an early night. Straight away, like the reasons start flying in your mind instead of like, let's just go and see what happens. And then keep turning up, keep turning up. So you're almost making, even though you can't see it at the moment, but it's those small steps
yeah.
that
And
eventually you arrive.
what do you think? I know this might sound like an obvious question, but what do you think are the benefits for facing your fear? Because some people might say, "Well, why do I need to do that? Like, I'm happy not doing that." Like,
I would say like why not try? Because a lot of us have ideas and things that we want to do, but we're just afraid
yeah,
because we're afraid of various reasons. One we're afraid of often is what people would think, what my friends would think. That's one
yes,
of the things that keeps us doing the
oh
same
yeah,
thing. It's like
yeah,
because the moment you say to people, "I want to do that," often people will be like, "Oh no, you can't do that." So it'll be like, "Okay, I'm not
oh
doing it."
yeah,
You know, it's the
yeah,
fear of like what will people think, and what happens is often
totally,
when you start doing these things, especially like say personal development, personal growth, for example, you almost begin to become a different person, and all of a sudden you're not the person that you used to be. So
yes.
that creates a challenge.
With your friends, you mean?
Yeah, like with your friends in a relationship, all of a sudden it's like, oh, you're not this person that you used to be.
Yeah,
So it's easier
definitely.
to just not try anything and say, I'm happy here. But are you really? I don't know. When people say they're happy, I'm always like, really? Are you?
Yeah,
Now, some people
absolutely.
are happy. I'm not saying that, not everyone.
No, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But absolutely, we need to keep moving and growing, even if it's uncomfortable, because otherwise we're sort of stuck, aren't we? If we're not.
Yeah, like that's like the whole experience of life is growing and trying new things and learning as much as you can about yourself,
Yeah,
you know, because there's a
absolutely.
especially if you have the means and opportunities to do it, because there's a lot of people that would love to be in that position, but they aren't,
True.
or the environment is different.
True.
But either way, like the excitement is in the personal growth. And I think the more you learn about yourself, the more freer or independent you become. You
Oh,
know,
absolutely.
And, and the less, sorry.
No, sorry, we've got another question here.
Yeah.
It's kind of related to what we've been saying. You've kind of answered this, but why do you think so many people fear looking inward, and what can help us overcome that fear?
To overcome it, what we fear, because it's new and it's scary, it's unpredictable. Like humans, we like predictability.
Yes.
We don't know what's going to happen. It's like when you start doing, like, let's say, trauma work, without going into that. It's like once you open that door, you can't not open it again. It's like once you're exposed to something, it's like, oh, I can't close that door. You know, it's like you.
Yeah. And everything's unknown, actually, isn't it? Like when we think everything's unknown, actually, like really, we're all in, we might talk ourselves into thinking it's not unknown, but everything is. We don't know what's going to happen in a minute's time.
And if you're afraid, I think it's more leaning into that fear. It's like, why is, like,
yes,
what's making me afraid of this?
Oh, yeah.
The fact that it's coming up, there's a reason why it's coming up.
Yes.
You feel afraid. So it's like, what's making me afraid? It's not to judge yourself, because it's easier to do that because we often judge ourselves. But just lean into it. It's like, why am I afraid of it?
Oh, yeah. In fact, that's so true. Yeah, sorry, carry on.
And it's a question you might have to ask a number of times to yourself. The first time you bring that, it's a question that you might have to ask yourself like a couple of times, like, why am I afraid of this? Why? Not in the same day, like, but it will keep coming up. It's almost like it's like an invitation from within to lean into something
until you get the answer, because you might get different answers, but then one will click. And I guess fear is a big one, but also I think when you resist things, like, then I think that's another time, isn't it, to ask some questions. And I like that question, like, even if you just say, what's here, like, what is it about this fear? It's just about exploring, isn't it? Rather than avoid it and push it down. It's sort of like, let's do what most people don't do. Let's actually invite it and find out a bit more, because the answers are going to be in that emotion, aren't they?
Yeah. And then it's just a matter of just being gentle with yourself. Self-compassion is a big thing. Going easy on yourself.
Yes.
And arguing with yourself, which many of us do, is not going to help us, and it doesn't. And criticizing yourself, which many of us do, doesn't help us. So just more being curious about what's the fear doing, and like why is it there?
Oh, brilliant. I love those questions. And even I forget, even I need reminded, like now, like I know this stuff, but I forget. And now you just reminded me that I need to ask myself this. But we've got another question about emotions from Sarah. Hi, Sarah. How are you doing? She says, how does understanding your emotions contribute to the journey of self-discovery?
And so the emotions are just information about something is happening.
Yes.
So what's coming up is a sensation. Now it's like, what's that sensation? Because sometimes you can be thinking too much and you start creating emotions about what you're thinking. When you're like, something happened, your head start overthinking the whole scenario. Like, what if this happened? And all of a sudden you start getting scared about, like, that's all just happening in your head. Like, nothing has actually happened. You just
that as well. Yeah. Totally.
So with emotion is just when something comes up, like fear, for example. So it's like why is it here? Like, what's happening? What's making this come up? Like, what am I telling myself right now to create that feeling? Or what is actually happening that's making my body respond in a certain way? And just leaning into that.
Absolutely. You're going to get answers, aren't you? You're going to find out something about
Yeah.
yourself that maybe you
Yeah.
didn't know.
Yeah, and things come to you like when you least expect it. Like,
Yeah.
let's not say like you're gonna sit there and then straight away like these answers will come up.
No.
Yeah, like something might just come to you when you least expect it. Then you always know, like, oh, that's coming up. That's why it's
Absolutely.
coming up.
Absolutely. You got to be patient, I guess, as well. No, but that's brilliant, James.
Mhm.
We are running out of time, but I know we could talk more and more about this because it's so fascinating. We'll definitely have to have another conversation. But is there anything else you'd like to say before we go? And how can people find you?
Yes, I am on LinkedIn as James Lumumba, and I'm on Instagram as Don't Be Afraid to Talk. That is the name of my podcast also, Don't Be Afraid to Talk.
Amazing.
I haven't set up my own coaching page yet because I'm only new to that. So at the moment, I'm still using my podcast.
Okay.
And find a word to just be curious about yourself, because we all here to experience life, and there's more to all of us, and to have the experience, you need to be curious about yourself.
Absolutely. Brilliant. Yeah. Can you put all of your links to Instagram and everything on the original post? Because then people can just click on it and contact you.
Yes, I will do that. Yeah.
Amazing.
Super.
Thank you so much, James. Thank you, everybody, for watching. If you have any questions for James, please message James directly or send a message on the post, and I will be back next week.